Good afternoon.
How are you, mate?
Second show for the year.
Yes, I know. We've got out of the gates pretty quick, considering we haven't had a lot of activity.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that we preempt things that are happening or going to happen, and that's why we're here today.
Is that like you winning a few tournaments this year, John?
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, that'd be very nice. Yeah. Highly unlikely, but it would be nice. I mean, I have patches, Phil. I struggle now trying to maintain one good match. Could play a fantastic match, and the next one could be total dud. So that's the lack of consistency is sort of my biggest failing right now. You know, who knows? God might smile on me.
Yeah, no, you stay positive, John.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll win one.
Now, weekend just gone.
Yeah.
Big tournament, only really big tournament in progress was the NT Open at Darwin, Casarino, I believe, and finalist Justin Sage, Alex the Iceman Evernatus. So probably the two. Well, there were three actually, because Trav was there as well. So Trav, I think Alex beat Trav in the semi, and the other semi was what's the local boy's name? Very good player.
Reilly.
Yes, Chris Beagley. Yeah. Chris is a very good player, and he's probably the best player in NT, and has been since the Crawley boys left. So the cream rose to the top, and then in the final, it seemed emphatic in Justin's favour at 8-4, Phil. But I watched the final, and there were a few frames that could have easily kept it a lot tighter.
Yeah.
So probably a little bit flattering, but I'm not suggesting that Justin shouldn't have won. I think his standard was better overall, but there were opportunities for Alex to get amongst them and keep it competitive.
That's a good warm up for Alex and Pro Pockets.
Well, you know, we had he had to lead the final of the Queen's Birthday tournament. Although he had to beat Darren twice, which was going to be hard. And Darren had already beaten him once in the winners' half.
Yeah.
To win it, so otherwise he had missed his plane. So he could actually, for the few extra dollars, he thought, well, why would I go through the pain and probably get beat anyway? He said, I'm going to race to the plane. So they only made it by about half an hour apparently. So I think he got his priorities right.
Yeah.
So that was. He's had really good prep. I had a good hit up there last night. I was in practicing with our Super League team last night. Because we Super League course kicks off next week. So 16 teams, Phil.
Yeah, that's
a big field. There was some speculation that international rules, people won't play. We've got more teams than we've ever had.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's fantastic.
That's almost 2 divisions now, John.
Well, we've been talking about divisions, but there's the appeal of being a Super League player, Phil.
Yeah.
And we know that with the handicap system in the old days, if you weren't good enough, you just didn't play.
Yeah.
Where the handicap system has allowed all levels to be involved in the game.
Competitive.
Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah. I'm not a fan. I'm like I go back to the old days when you had to be a very good team to win the Super League.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying those people that have won recently aren't good teams, but if you took the point system away, very few of them would be close to it.
Yeah.
So, but it is what it is, and it's helped even the competition up, kept it interesting.
Like you said, John, that's why we now have 16 teams, because they're all competitive.
Yep. I'd like to have a Super A and a Super B.
Yeah.
Make some mates, and then play 3 rounds, for instance.
Yeah.
There's still only 21 frames, 3 rounds of 8, in 8 section, and in finals. But there's what it is.
So we 16 teams. Do you play each other once?
We played each other last year. We did play each other once, then split.
So will they have again this time?
Well, good question. I mean, I'm not on the tournament committee.
Okay.
Being president doesn't allow me privy to that sort of information, Phil. So I'm sure there'll be a format discussed on Monday. Because we can't have a block night because there's too many teams to have them all at Empire.
Oh wow!
Because we've only got 12 tables there.
So how many teams are outside of Empire?
Well, we've got fantastic to have 2 teams back from Caruso's.
Yeah.
And they're 2 great teams too, excellent sides. So we're looking forward to that. Then Elizabeth RSL still has their team, and then Chalkers.
How many Chalkers got?
I think they'll have 5.
Oh, 5. So then, okay, so the block night could be at Chalkers and
I think that's more likely to happen.
Yeah.
To have them split up. I actually had a quick chat with Della today. He's not playing, as you know. Could still probably be. He'd probably shoot over 65% every year if he wanted to play, but he's just he's lost interest. But yeah, he's looking forward to seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
And a shout out to Fred Newton. The delivery Della caught up with me to deliver some crayfish.
Okay.
From Freddie. So Freddie, thank you very much. And then obviously delivered from Mount Gambier here by Mark Walker.
Yeah,
so
connections.
I tell you what, it does help. You know, sort of some people like it. You know, it doesn't hurt. So I really most appreciative, and one of them will be consumed this evening. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I imagine that's the way it's going to be done, Phil. The majority of the teams will be Block Night Empire, which obviously will be 12 teams. And then the other teams will play at Empire, at Chalkers rather. But yeah, a lot of people looking forward to this season.
Yeah, no, it sounds excellent. And when you've got that many people involved, it generates that frenzy, and they're all excited.
Well, international rules too. You know, I think we're going to have, it's going to be a year of discovery for a lot of the players. I mean, we've all watched a little bit online, we watched this shot, that, but the majority of the stuff they show online anyway, unless you watch a whole match, it's just someone making a miraculous run out. You know, so, oh yeah, that's cool. But you know, how often they're going to do that? You know, that's one of 15 frames they played, and we get the highlight frame. But there's going to be some scrappy frames, and what I think a lot of the better players aren't just better potters; they're actually smarter.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just win at world rules for as long as we've won over the years without having offense and defense.
Yeah.
I think the smarter players, the better players, have got a wider depth of knowledge as well.
Yeah.
So they'll know how to get out of those awkward situations, or at least make it difficult for the opposition.
Yeah.
You know? And as you know, if you can't win, how can I prevent the other guy from winning? You know, you've did it for a long time. You're one of our best players for at least 10 years there. So you've been the experience what it's been like in the grind.
Yeah. No, well, I know what you're talking about, because I watch it on telly and I think, wow, these guys just keep trying to pot out. Well, in the real world, you don't have to, and there's more ways to skin a cat, and I think that will happen with time, and people will adapt to it, John. And as I said, not everyone can pot out every time they go.
Hey, no one does. Doesn't matter how many hours you practice. Everyone misses. Well, dry breaks.
Yeah.
You know, there's everyone gets a chance. It's not like it's in the 9-ball. And we can probably transition to 9-ball from here, but the winner breaks.
Yeah.
You don't get to the table. Yeah, you have a dry break, and then you could be sitting there, and the other guy just runs rack after rack, and you're shaking hands.
Yeah.
At least this way, you get a chance every second. Alternate frame, you get a break, and if your break's half tighter, you get first look, and there's some chance.
No, well, that's good. And there were some other results on the weekend. Mount Gambier.
Mount Gambier. Yeah, they had a mini carnival down there, international rules, so I think it's also an opportunity for them in the southeast, people in the southeast, to actually get used, acclimatised as well. So they did the right thing by inviting some city teams here down to the tournament. Now, I know Mikey Cacciola took a team down, Mikey, Daniel, Jaden, and Laura and Jay Shaw. So and I think Cal Reilly was in that side as well. So very good side. Appropriately named Mums and Kids. You know, so it's not a particularly intimidating name, but consequently they got beat by the Shark Squad.
Yeah, true done.
So and that Shark Squad was led by Gavin Lomax. Stacey played in the side. Gavin and Stacey, as you know, have been an item for a number of years now.
The Roth
and Dave Roth, and then a couple of other people I'm not too sure of. But yeah, obviously there was a decent lineup on both teams, and on paper you would have thought maybe Mikey's side won't have been favourites in that. But you never know. Pool's a funny game, as you know.
Yeah, bit of experience, Roth and Gavin.
Roth and Gav, both
Youth.
excellent players too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like we're talking about, John, there's many ways to skin a cat. Well, I know we got Shane Murphy plays in here. He was keeping me updated with the City of Adelaide. So, talking to Mikey, I know that Shane was telling that Mikey's all-star team, they defeated the Athelston Pirates midweek, and I know I looked at their lineup that had Mikey, Anthony Casiola, Andrew Fitch, Jason Nolan, Larry Calavaro,
Yep.
and I think in the Pirates had like Jason Ahmed and
Darren Hutchinberg,
Aaron O'Boyle, Anthony.
Yeah.
So it's very strong teams there playing in the City of Adelaide.
Yeah.
So the All Stars got up there 8-4, and I know he was telling me in the B division there was who was their side? The Q Breakers, which is Shane's side. They defeated Wampa in the final. I don't know the players are in their sides, but I know that it was Shane Murphy's side, and that was their Tuesday night's competition. And I know they've got a final tonight with Shane Murphy's team are playing against St Giorgio, so we'll have a couple more teams to talk about in the next one. But the City of Adelaide's adopted their new rules as well, John.
Well, their main division, they're going to split the season, Phil.
Yeah.
So they're going to have, I think it's a Tuesday night's going to be world rules, and then Wednesday night, which is their stronger league, we'll play international rules.
So it's fantastic that, like you say, Mount Gambier's jumping on board, and the City of Adelaide have jumped on board. SA have got in there, Caruso's, so everyone's embracing it.
Hey, look, it's the future.
Yeah.
As humans, we resist change, Phil.
Yeah.
We all like to keep things the same, maintain the status quo. But if the world's swinging in that direction, why fight against it?
Yeah.
Why be the little minnow down here in Australia? I know we're a massive country, but population-wise, we're no one compared to the rest of the world. So if that's the set of rules that's being played in the UK, it's now Ultimate's actually going to have tournaments in Europe now. They want to have an American series. So yeah, there's big plans for Ultimate.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens going forward. But those are the rules that were introduced to the Ultimate game by Lee the Fox Kendall. Actually, he actually drew up these rules. But as we discussed before, probably 90% Vino or American pool rules with some subtle changes.
Well, we might side the snooker side of things, John. I've seen that Selby, Mark Allen, Mark Williams, they've all joined the Ultimate Pool Circuit. So I know that, and that's not all of them. There's 5 or 6 of the pro snooker players, but you're talking 2 world snooker champions there. You're talking 3 players in the top 6 or 7 in the world that are all going.
It's amazing. The Ultimate's done a fabulous job in promoting the game. And I'm not sure whether you gave me that stat, Phil, but someone gave me the stat that the Ultimate Pool has a better viewing audience in the UK than snooker.
Wow,
which is just
I didn't
amazing.
hear that one, but
I got that stat from somebody, and I thought, well, that is amazing. The fact that they've been able to do that. They have I don't know the name of the CEO and owner of the Ultimate brand, but apparently he's extremely wealthy and has an interest in the sport.
Yeah.
So good on him, and he's done everything possible to promote the game at the top end.
Well, when you have the power to pull Selby and Williams over there, and Mark Allen, Mark Allen just won the last tournament, and they've turned to the pool circuit. So it's fantastic, and it's great that they are combining and playing in both.
Well, it's funny because I go back when I first arrived here, Phil, in the early 80s, 81 actually, I came to Adelaide, and probably 6 of the top 10 snooker and billiard players in South Australia played pool too.
Yeah.
So, I had Kenny Mitchell, Bob McDonald, both state champions. Kenny Mitchell won, I think, 5 or 6 of billiard championships as well. Robert Dale played the boys for a little while at Tavern 63. Graham Hubner was another state champion that played. Frank Jewins played for the Holdfast down there with us. And he actually won a doubles title with JL.
Yeah.
They went to Darwin together. There was a lot of involvement in both codes there. You know, it wasn't an us and them. And it should never be an us and them. The game is the game. If you're interested, play whatever you want to play. I mean, you're the classic example. Snooker, 8 ball, 9 ball. You played everything, Phil. And you didn't think, oh, this is better than that. You just said, this is what I'm playing now, and this is good. And then next week you might be playing billiards or snooker. But there was none of this, oh, you know, Mickey Mouse game. That's a very good term, isn't it? It's Albert Hung.
Still playing that Mickey Mouse game, Phil.
Yeah, and you said then, oh, JB, you still play that Mickey Mouse game. But yeah, that was how it was referred to by a lot of the, I suppose, the snobbish side of the game.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of the day, it's Cuesport.
Yeah.
And that's what we try and promote here. You know, it's not just trying to promote snooker. We talk about 8 ball, 9 ball. Now,
and I'm 9 ball, and we're talking about multi-cues. You know, we've got Jimbo over playing in the world 9 ball titles in Poland.
And unfortunately, he got, well, as the low seed, he plays the #1 player in the world.
Yeah.
This has to be
well,
Josh Fuller.
The good thing is, John, you don't have a nickname like Showboat when you're a shrinking violet. And Jimbo, I personally believe, plays better under the limelight. So
oh yeah, he'll be buzzing. And if he can get things going, he can put some hurt on it. Don't worry. I mean, that game is so. It's a very succinct game. It's very simple. Make sure you don't miss. Yeah. You know, and it seems simple when you watch it and when you watch good players run them out. But maintaining the correct position, not just on the ball, but on the right half of the ball to get to the next one. You know, the good players, they can run rack after rack, and Jimbo can run. He can run rack after rack. Don't worry about that.
Well, I think the good thing for Jimbo is he's extremely confident at the moment. And when he went there before, he took it to Shane Van Boning and went all the way. And I don't see why James won't do the same with Joshua. I mean, he's playing the #1 ranked player in the world, so it's going to be a tough ask for Jimbo. But we're going to know where he sits in the world rankings after this.
He bought the new table. He got it reclothed and is playing. We've been putting in some serious hours.
Yeah.
And he's given himself every chance.
Yeah.
So he can't come away and say, oh, well, you know, I really didn't practice much, or, you know, didn't have enough time, or my table wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
He gave himself every chance. So we're all rooting for you, mate. So if you get a chance to, between matches, to have a listen to Phil and I, we're rooting for you, brother.
Yeah, come on, Jimbo. So while we're on there, we're talking about world titles. I think we touched on it last time, John. We got the world snooker titles happening here in Australia, which it's a very rarity to get an event like that in Australia. I played in the world under-21s in 1990, which was in Brisbane. So that's 33 years ago.
It's a long time. It doesn't come around that often.
And I know prior to that we had the World Amateur when James Barton won it, and that might have been maybe 98. So it's been like, it would have been 88. So it's been like 35 years since we've had an event like this.
Yeah.
And so we spoke about Jason Yu, and just like Jimbo, also got a very, very tough draw. There's 4 players in a group.
Mm-hmm.
3. You play all the opponents, and the top 2 go through. Jason drew a player from Hong Kong, and he also drew Julian Bolocki from the Ukraine. Now, when I went to Malta 2 years ago, he was runner-up in the Open, and he was only 15 at the time.
Wow.
And he was phenomenal, and he's been on the Pro Tour for the last 2 years. So Jason has drawn a professional snooker player and runner-up in the World Amateur at 15, and he's also got the one player coming out of China or Hong Kong. So incredibly tough draw he got, and I know that he played this morning and he got beat 3-0 by the player from Hong Kong. I didn't see any of the match, but I seen the results. He seemed to be in all the frames. He only lost by 15, 20 points in each frame. But
so, that's right. He was in it till the coverage. Yeah.
That was a tough ass that he's got there. So he's still in it. He still can beat Julian tomorrow. He's also got to play Joshua Hans, one of his good friends in the Australian snooker, and he's got a tough opponent as well. So Jason's up against it in the singles, but Yeah, we're still there, and we've got lots of faith in you, Jason. And this is going to be a test for you, and you're going to see what you've got to aspire to.
That's right. I mean, that's the benefit of playing. And it's he's not even 14.
Yeah.
And admittedly, he's put some serious time into getting himself prepared for this event. But these other guys get 4 more years than him.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe
minimum.
not. Yeah.
Minimum 4 more years.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what he's going to be like in 4 years' time?
Yeah.
Whatever your results, Jason, don't be despondent. You will be able to see there where you need to go and what's required to get yourself to the top. And as long as you want to do it, I know you can do it. So we're rooting for you. Now, you mentioned Jessica as well. Had a decent week.
So Jessica Woods, she won 3-0 today. So she had quite a convincing win there. Naturat is playing in this tournament. John Mink from Thailand. She's like 3 or 4 in the world.
Okay.
She's the girl who made the 147. So Jessica's got her work cut out in this Asia Pacific Championship, but also, and not to write off Lily as well.
Yep.
And Lily won 3-1 today as well. And both girls had 30 plus breaks. So they're going to be fighting it out to play Mink in the final, but good luck to Lily and Jessica and all the Australian girls as well that are all competing.
Well, those two we know a bit about.
Yeah,
we know a bit about them. They're nice girls, and they're a credit to the game.
Yeah.
And they have enormous ability, and they can keep going. I mean, I remember when Jessica was here, when I think we might have been having an interview in Australia then. Now, I watched you and I were watching. I think she made a 70-yard break, and I'm thinking, well, this girl can play. This is not just something scratching around and make 32 if they're lucky. She can actually make a break, and she's made 100 since apparently in competition. I mean, hundreds are very important breaks, and everyone's made some 100 in practice or for cash.
Yeah.
But in a competition, that's the ultimate pressure, and if she can do that, well, 147, 100 still means
just
one frame.
One frame. And also we've got in the men's, which starts next week, we got, or at the end of this week actually, we've got Reilly, former state champion here. We've got Tyson Krinis, the current state champion, Tanarag, the former challenger champion, and also Jason Yu in that event. So I've looked at Tyson's group, and I'm confident Tyson will get out of his group, and Ray and Jason both got good opportunities, and Tanarag as well. But I think Tyson being one of the seeded players, because he's ranked in the top 10 in Australia, so he's probably about the 6th seed coming from Australia in the event. So there's 160 players in the tournament, and Tyson is seeded in his group. So that's a big advantage when you're avoiding someone coming out.
I think you mentioned there was some players that didn't actually turn up. A couple of Indian players. Yeah,
there's been about 3 or 4 I've seen that have been scratched out in the event. So I'm not sure why.
Yep.
I think the ones playing Tyson were a bit frightened. Tyson's waste of time going there to play Tyson Krinis.
So they travel halfway around the world to beat a guy like Tyson. Get beaten by Tyson,
but anyway, we'll have some more information on which one of you wins the world title. Well, good luck to all the Australians and to all the juniors and all the Australians that are playing in that event. It's fantastic that it's here in Australia and that we've got 160 players playing in the event. So to me, that's fantastic, and good luck to all of them.
Excellent.
And John, I've got we had a snooker tournament the week before, which was the John Gilbert Memorial.
That's right, you mentioned that to me. Yeah.
We run that every year. We had a really good turnout. It was a fun day. And the guy we spoke about the week before, Hikmak Tharpa.
Yes.
He won. He went back to back. So he won the Challenger, and then he won the Johnny Gilbert on the weekend. John Molnar came second. He had the highest break of the day, which was 48. And when John Molnar played Hikmat, he potted the blue and went in off on the blue. Hikmat got the blue, pink and black, and got John, and inevitably that in off probably cost John the tournament.
Oh wow!
But it was a great effort for Hikmat going back to back. John Molnar second, Mohan was in third spot, and Vinay Singh in fourth. So all of them players, regulars in our room that put lots of time in. So congratulations to all of them, and to Hikmat, you're having a sensational year. It's like the 4th event that you've won, and you're a credit to your community and yourself, and you're a great player. So well done, Hikmat. We also ran a play on that day, John, which one of our old regulars, Glenn D'Amica, got up and won the plate. And we had a tie for a second spot. Was the Murphys, so Shane and his father Alan tied for second spot. So congratulations and thanks to all the players that played in the event. It was an excellent day, and once again, well done Hikmat on taking out another title.
Okay, now what's coming up? I think we got the Pocket Series starting.
You got the Pocket Series this week.
This week, I think there's 3 different events, with the main events being on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
So lots of work. After Titus done a brilliant job promoting the game over there in Victoria, and there's it's gone from 8 players to about 160, I think, in 3 divisions now. So that's amazing growth. So obviously people have got on board, got behind the whole system, and look forward to seeing.
So we've got Alex, Lyndall, Mikey, Jaden. Any more from SA?
I think Roth was invited. I don't think he could make it.
Good luck to all the South Australians.
Yeah, good luck to all the South Australians. Good luck to Barton. For hosting the tournament. I'm sure it's going to be a massive success. And then obviously all the other players. Mark Robinson will start favourite again. And he was one of the pre-post favourites last season and ended up being a comfortable winner cash-wise. He won more events and collected more cash than anyone. James Della is not competing this year. He's committed to study. So he was the runner-up last year and did a fabulous job. James did for South Australia, as we all knew he would.
Yeah.
But he's committed to studies this year. So has taken a year off, and who knows, next year, he's one of those guys who go, oh look, I think I'll come back next year, and he'll put in a couple of, maybe 3 or 4 weeks of solid practice and he's ready to go again.
Yeah, well, he's quality.
Well, he's a class player. And I think that's about a wrap for us, I think. Mate.
Just before we go, John, one of our other favourites was Rob Hall, Anna Lynch's
That's
husband.
right,
So,
yes.
We did have an interview with him, and he was telling us about his billiards. Well, on the weekend they had the Scottish Billiard Championships, and he made the final. Unfortunately, he lost to Peter Gilchrist in the final. He only lost by about 140 points. So in billiards, that's not a big margin. Yeah. And when he was here, he was talking to us about breaking into the finals. He has won major events, but breaking into that top 2, and it's fantastic to see that Rob had made the final. So well done, Rob, and seeing you played as well, Anna. So congratulations, Rob, and good luck to all the players competing in the World Snooker titles this weekend.
Yeah, Cuesports are up there. All the best.
All good, John.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.